Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Full of personality. Switching up the storyline on God, we making history.
Writing books, changing lives, one day at a time. Put your problems to the side. Enjoy yourself. Free your mind.
Kicking it with KeKe.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and all that other shit. I am your host, KeKe Chanel, award-winning author, lifestyle blogger, certified life coach, and host of Kicking It with KeKe podcast. Y'all know the overall theme for this podcast is all about self-development, personal development. I believe that when we operate as our highest self, we go through life more fulfilled, with a mindset of abundance, and we just live life to the fullest, right? So today I have a special guest. Some of you guys may know him, some of you will get introduced to him. He is none other than Mr. Winfield. Like, Mr. Winfield.
Hey, what's happening?
Thank you for coming to kick it with me. How you doing, sir?
I'm real good, and blessed.
Absolutely. Well, you look good. Look, got your stunner shades on and all that kind of stuff. Hey, I see
you gotta do that.
Right. Right. So I like to give my guests the opportunity to tell the people who they are. So you just tell the people who you are and what you do, and we're gonna get right into this interview.
Well, my name is GoDJ Idol. I go stage name GoDJ Idol. Real name is Wilbur Winfield. I'm a DJ / producer, actor, now a new business clothing line owner, all of that. So that's basically it.
That's a good resume to have. You working.
Oh yeah, gotta stay working.
Absolutely. Okay, so but before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, because this is a personal development podcast, I like to ask all of my guests this question: what does personal development mean for you?
Personal development for me is basically, surrounding myself around positive people, keeping myself motivated, because a lot of times your surrounding don't keep you motivated. Just basically doing things to keep myself uplifted, and staying out of the negative energy, so that's what I call it.
I like that. I mean, and I love your answer because you're the first person that said keeping myself uplifted. Because sometimes we have to encourage ourselves because the people that are around us, they may not have that energy to give. So we have to know how to tap into self and self-motivate, and self-love and self-uplift and all of that stuff. So when it comes to staying motivated and uplifted, what is something that you do?
Well, one of the things I do is when I get up in the morning, the very first thing I do, besides thank God for another day, is probably get straight to what's on my mind that morning. Mm-hmm. If my mind tell me, and most of the time it's dealing with either the music or the business or whatever's on my mind, I go do it. I let God lead me to whatever I need to do in that morning. I don't think about, I need to go and catch up with my boys or whatever, So most of the time when I get up, the first thing is on my mind is business. Mm-hmm. And I jump right on it instead of, saying, well, I'm gonna do this later or I'm gonna wait a couple of hours. If it's on my mind, I jump and do it right then and there.
That's good. That's a great way to stay motivated because it keeps you, on your toes. You try to be better than you were yesterday, today.
Right.
So I love that. And I sit with myself a little bit just to be, just take in the moment. Lately, I've noticed that I've gotten into a habit of stretching before I get out of bed. And that has helped me a lot because I sit a lot. I sit down a lot. So stretching, that helps, keep that blood flowing and keep you from being all stiff and tight and things like that. So let's get into
Yeah, I normally go to the gym too. I go to the gym maybe once or twice a week, depends on my schedule. But lately I've been a little lazy. But well, I wouldn't say lazy. I just been so busy that I be too tired to get up and go to a gym. But as far as getting on my laptop and handling my business, I do that every day.
Right, you have to, because if you don't do it, how it's gonna get done?
It ain't gonna get done.
It's not gonna get done. And let's talk about exercising for a minute. Like exercising, not just for physical, for your body, but your mind, that mentality. When I mention the word like mindset, what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
Honestly, KeKe, nothing but things that I need to do. That's I mean, I that's all I can sum it up with. That's what I've been on lately. My mindset been on handling my business. Because I've been doing things for people for 30 years plus. And this is the very first year that I really put effort into me.
Right.
Yeah. So once I started doing that, and then it's going on 10 months I've been doing that, it's routine now, it's repetitious now.
Right, putting effort into me. I love that. You should put that on a shirt. I would buy it. Like for real. I have a problem with it. And look, you have the clothing line. We're gonna talk about that. See? Put that on the shirt. Yeah.
And look, I have my best friend right here. She right here listening to. So whatever ideas we come up with, we run with it.
Hey, I need a size small when y'all do make that shirt. I need that for real. So let's get into your DJing career. Like, how did you know that you were your purpose and your passion was music? Like, when did you know that? When did that all start?
Actually, the music in me started when I was a child, because my dad was a very known guitar player here in New Orleans.
Okay.
And a keyboard player. So once I realized that I had a gift was when I was drum major in high school, I started moving forward with it. Then someone introduced me, well, not someone, my cousin, he introduced me to turntables. And the day he set them up was the day I fell in love with him.
Nice.
And that was in 1991.
Okay. Now so, you said you was a drum major, right? So you're a part of the band geek like me?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm a bandhead. I'm a bandhead to the fullest.
Me too. Shout out to all the band kids. Ain't nothing like a band kid. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah, that's a part of life I think every kid who has talent should experience.
Absolutely.
Because that was my foundation. Being a drum major, I learned how to play 7 different instruments.
Nice. Playing
in football games, marched in every parade. So that's an experience I wish on every child. But that's how I came up, was music.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it was nothing like it. Like, we were tired, coming back to school that Monday after marching in all those parades for Mardi Gras, but we did it. And we did it and we loved it.
Yeah, loved it. That was our drive.
Right. Like, shout out to my band director, Mr. Kenneth Butler. Shout out to him for real.
Right. Shout out to Mr. McGowan. Yep.
So let's talk about DJing. Like, when did you know, like, those turntables, you fell in love with music, but when did you know that you wanted to make people vibe and feel good by just being a part of their events?
Quick story. My mom went out of town. I think this was 92. She went to New York for a vacation. She was working for the sheriff department here. And we had these big, you remember the old stereos with the glass in front?
Yes.
The big speakers.
My mama had one.
Yeah. So my mama had one of them, and she left us home for the weekend. So I called my cousin, and we put a house party together like in hours, and we ain't had no DJ. So I had all the music. I was a music head anyway, so started playing, and I felt like that was something I needed to do for good. And, I just stuck with it. And once they introduced me to the turntables, that was just a whole nother level. So then I did a couple of house parties, and I was stuck.
Now listen, did y'all get in trouble when your mama came back home?
Yeah, I left.
I know y'all did. I know y'all did. But I bet that was the talk of the, like that house party probably still go down in history.
Actually, it's still a talk now because the neighborhood was there. This was something that came out the blue, and you know, my family is a very known family in that area. So you know, when we did something, everybody knew about it.
Right.
So you know, on the low, all the kids my age was sneaking to get to my house party that night. So that was the drive for me, you know. So ever since then, I've been doing it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And when I ask you about the word music, like what's the first thought that comes to your mind? When you hear the word music for you, what does that mean?
Music is life for me. That's all I know. I mean, I ain't gonna say all I know now, but that was my life. Everything was music. If I wasn't in a studio, if I wasn't DJing, I wasn't at church, and all that stuff is still going on now. I still be in church, you know, go help my mama with their ministry, their music ministry. I go to Baton Rouge and set up their sound system, and so it's always been like that. Music always been my thing to go to, even if I didn't have a regular job, which I haven't had a regular job in almost 10 years now. So, but when I had a regular job, I'm at work. My coworkers know I got headphones on. He got, you know, so music was always my life. That was it.
Right.
That's all I knew.
I love it. I can tell that you're passionate about it by looking at you talk about it, like the way that your face lights up. Even though you got the glasses on, I can see your face lighting up when you talk about that music. But so that's a good segue to talk about crossing over from DJing to acting. How has that transition been?
Oh, that's crazy transition because I was coming out of a depression from COVID. I lost an aunt and an uncle that I saw every day, you know. So once that hit me, and I was just at a point where I felt like ain't nothing was gonna happen for me. But then I got a phone call one morning, which I was screening all my calls. And one day God just told me to answer the phone. It was my friend, Unc, good friend of mine. Me and him, we do parties and stuff together now. And we work in the studio together. He called me, he said, man, I got this role that these people want me to be in, but I'm not vaccinated. And I already had to get vaccinated because, you know, I'm inside of clubs all the time throughout the week. So I had already been vaccinated. So he was like, man, well, just take this link, man. I'm gonna send you the link and you just look it up and see what's happening. I said, all right, bro. I'm like, you know, me, I'm already at the depressed point. I really don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
So God said, hit that button. I hit the button and changed my life.
Wow.
And I got my first role 3 days after I started casting for it. I cast for it, I think it was like a Tuesday. That Friday, I got the role.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that you were obedient. I'm glad that you answered the phone. See, when you have to know that it's the voice of God that speaks to you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you heard that it was God's voice speaking to you. Answer that phone, click that link, and got that role.
And come to find out, after answering God that day, he talks to me every day. He talks to us every day. It's just some of us listen and some don't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Point blank.
So some of the things that, you know, some of the things he tell me to do is like I say, me getting up in the morning, the first thing I do is reach over for my laptop. After I thank him for being here, reach over for my laptop and handle my business, because that's what he put in my past. So whatever he been putting in my past for the last year, that's what I've been going with, and that's what we're keeping that drive. So, and to switch over to acting like I did, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it, to be honest with you, because it was so much getting into it, just being a background, an extra person. You know, some people think, oh, but he's just showing up in the background. It's a lot to that. You know, we have the script too. We have to get directed to do things and certain things. So them 12-hour days, they think it just be chilling. No, we be working. We really be working.
But you know, some things are not for everybody to understand.
Oh no.
Because they don't have that drive. Yeah, they don't have that drive, that discipline. They don't believe in themselves and they stay stuck. You know, and as a life coach, I find that a lot of people talk about it, but when it comes down to implementing and doing the work, they don't want to do the work because it makes them take a look at themselves and they got to be accountable for what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
So
that was one of my things too, was the people I was around. I had to change them. I had to really change the people that I hang around, because the people I hung around really was crippling me from moving forward. And it didn't hit me until after like my second or third roll. You know, I go around my friends and now they feel like, well, you Hollywood now. I'm like, Hollywood? Why would I be Hollywood? You my dog. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be backing me. It sounds like a little hate move you're doing right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my friends, I've changed friends. I really did. And the crazy part is, the friends that I'm with now, I never thought in a million years I'd be friends with.
And that's usually the ones that stay in your life a lifetime.
Yeah.
The unlikely ones, the like people that you probably never would have crossed paths with had you not taken the next step to elevate your life.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it. How has acting been different from DJing, or do they work hand in hand for you?
In a way, it's kind of hand in hand when it comes to the work behind the scenes. I've been doing the studio work too, doing music too for, you know, almost 20 years too, with the DJing. So it's a lot of work that you put in behind the scenes doing music, with the recording and the mastering, the mix downs, and getting it pressed or getting it put on these platforms. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Acting is the same way. When I show up on set, you know, people think, oh, well, as soon as you show up, you just start, you know, no, it's a process we go through every day to get that one shot. You know what I'm saying? So I would be on set for 8 hours doing the same thing for 6 of those hours. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work, but I love it.
See, and then when you love it, it's like not working at all. It's just doing what you love. So being on set for 16 hours, that's nothing for you because you love it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, when you do what you love, they say you never work a day in your life. And I feel that way when I'm doing my podcast, like meeting people like you and getting a chance to pick your brain by asking certain questions. And I thank you for coming to kick with me to let me into your life. Because you didn't have to, like, we just met, like, and then we didn't even meet. Like, one of my friends was like, this is somebody that you need to go ahead and get on this podcast because he's doing great things. And I was like, okay, and then I reached out, and you know, here we are.
Here we are, yeah. It's that process.
Yes, it's a process. And I think that if I would have came at you in a different way, we probably wouldn't be sitting here, because it's all about the approach. People have to have that type of discernment to know that, okay, this is somebody that I can vibe with, versus this person right here that's trying to, I don't know what they got going on, but I don't want to be a part of it.
So you was at the prayer breakfast?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I was there.
See how my mind be when I'm there and I'm doing my thing.
Oh, you was doing your thing. You was in the zone. That's what that's all you was worrying about, was, making sure that you had everything ready.
Yeah, I don't even know who was sitting out there. I really didn't.
Yeah, I know. And it was funny because I was at the prayer breakfast, and then I had to go to another event where a client of mine had a book signing, and it was a lady that was there who does like baking, and she does sweets and stuff. She was at that event. She was like, I saw you earlier. I was like, where you saw me at? I know where I was at. She was like, you was at the prayer breakfast. I was like, yeah, I was. And she was like, oh, wow, small world. So you just never know who you run into. You never know where you're going and who gonna meet you there, and the vibes that you come across with people and places and things like that. So I tell people all the time, people are always watching. You may not see them, but they always there.
Oh, I learned that too. People always watching.
And was that a good experience or a bad experience for you?
It was both, really, both. Even with the movie thing, I learned that even with the movie situation, you have to pick the people that you're gonna work with close to, and there's some people that's there just because.
Yeah.
That, you know, there are people like me that's there working to accomplish something, or to be a better actress or a better actor or whatever. But then there's, there's always gonna have one or two people that really just don't care. They're just there because it's a check.
Yeah.
So, you know, those people I have to stay away from, even though they do come around me, but you know, I just feed them with a long handle spoon. So I just have to stay focused.
You have to, because some people have that leech mentality. They don't want to do the work, but they want you to do all the work so they can come in and like leech on to you to try to get that spotlight or that recognition or whatever. Yeah. So we just have to know who's for us and who's not.
Right. And trust me, and I dissect everybody who comes in my area.
Me too. Hey, me too. And I ain't mad about it. Like we already know people got seasons and reasons and lessons in a lifetime. We just got to figure out where you fit at, because you might not be going where I'm going. You don't have that drive to go where I'm going, and I can't force you to come do it. Right.
That's why I say, I just posted the other day on Facebook. Some people it's really in your life for a season, and you have to take advantage of that or let that person go, because sometimes it's just not, it don't pan off good if they haven't done nothing for you. They need to get out your life, or you have to kind of distance yourself. I'm not saying put them out the way, but so like I say, some of my friends, I don't only deal with them on certain things. You know what I'm saying? It's not all the time hanging like I used to with them no more.
Right. But when your priorities are together and you have you see the bigger picture, your mindset and your way of thinking, and you move different.
Yeah.
You glow different. Like people notice. They may not tell you that because it's you, and they probably knew you back when.
Yeah.
And they take notice though, but they'll never tell you, I'm proud of you, man. I see you doing great things, because it's you. And it's sad. It is so sad.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. And I just experienced that the other day. Somebody that, he know what I'm doing, but he just refused to say, man, you doing your thing.
Right.
But the more he don't say it, makes me know that I am doing my thing. So I just flip and make myself feel better. Nah,
absolutely. Like that. Hey, well, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Okay, so let's talk about this clothing line. Tell us how it came about. What's the name of it? And what to expect.
The clothing line called Mr. Winfield. It's actually, Winfield is my last name. So this clothing line is in memory of my father, and also to carry on my name. Now, how it came up, like I say, I'm in here with my best friend now. One day I was coming off a set, and I had a DJ role, and I was bringing her, the stuff to her house or whatever, and I was already in my costume per se, and she was like, "Man, you look good or whatever. You need to start a clothing line, or I can see this being a brand or whatever." And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So maybe what it was, next day or 2 days later, maybe within a week, the light bulb went off. Yeah. And I came to her and told her, what I was say, like, I think we're gonna make this, see if we can make this work or whatever. So then a month went by, and we was talking about it, nicking on it or whatever. And then it just like took over my life. Like, yeah. So now it's like, if I'm not on set, I'm online with distributors from Canada and China, and getting these patterns together, getting ready to give my samples. And I have a few samples, and now actually I wore at a couple of functions. Okay. But throughout now and the time that I do launch the website, I'm taking in all the samples and doing the photo shoots and getting the commercials together. Just got the paperwork back, certification. So probably, well, I'm not gonna give a date yet. I don't want to do a date.
No, don't do a date. Don't do a date.
We're not gonna do that.
Look, listen, y'all. It's coming when it's coming, but it's just know that it's on its way.
I learned that, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I learned that you have to really just like play it how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm running into so many things now that I push back a little bit, because if you're paying attention to my Instagram, I was really pushing it. But me, her, and a couple other people was like, we just gonna sit back and dot all our I's and cross our T's,
Right.
So when it launched, I'm definitely gonna let everybody know. But it's a men's clothing line. Actually, I got a couple of female type things we're working on too, but mostly I'm focusing on right now. And the launch is gonna be male suits and accessories with the cufflinks, the tie, the socks, the shoes. I dress your head to toe.
Nice.
Tailor fit. If you're in my area, we'll come to you and do your measurements and put that order in for you right then and there. It's so much that we all trying to do right now. So I'm looking spring maybe at the most, maybe before. So, but this is my baby now. So if I'm not acting, like I said, I'm on this clothing line thing.
Absolutely. And I love that because my son is about to be 14. So he gonna be having proms and homecomings and all that coming. So yeah.
And see that's what we was really pushing for. I'm going, we're gonna huddle up and make sure the team come out hitting hard. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, when you come out, you're gonna come out swinging, and it's gonna be a home run. Watch.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And actually, the suit that I had on when you saw me, that's one of my samples too.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Yeah. So that's the type that I'm going with. But anybody can order all sizes. And like I said, we starting a women's line too. I'm actually working on that too with a couple of people. So we're gonna get it together, and I'm definitely gonna let you know.
Okay. Yes. Please keep me updated on that. Okay, so we talked about your DJ career and your acting career, and talked about the clothing line. Let's talk about doing all of this in the midst of being a father.
Yeah. Actually, my daughter is the reason why I'm doing all of this. After COVID hit, I realized ain't that much time left.
Right.
And a lot of things that I wanted to do for her, I couldn't do. And time expired, and so I figured now these things that I'm doing, which every day, like I say, if I'm not doing a clothing line, I'm on set. If not, I'm on set, I'm DJing. And all of this is going to make her a better person when she's able to touch what I'm touching.
Right.
So, right now she's doing a lot of things that I did at her age. The exact same thing, dancing, singing, into the studio, that type of stuff. But I want to make sure she's secure.
Right.
By the time she's 19, 21 years old,
Yeah.
So that's my push. Every day I think about what I can get her, or what's she gonna get out of this. So that's my drive.
I love that. And I'm glad that you said what you said, because most people get caught up in the life and they forget that they have other roles to fulfill. So something is neglected. And I'm glad that you are one of those fathers that are present and just knows that, hey, I may be doing this and I may be doing that, but I'm a father first. And so that's a priority for me. Yeah.
And she knows if she called me, I'm dropping everything and I'm coming. She already know that.
Right.
So that's just, and the person that I'm with now, I have 4 stepkids, and I treat them the exact same way. So this path that I'm on is for all of them too. If God said the same.
Right.
But definitely, this is for the home team.
Absolutely. And I love that. Keep that, because we need more people like that, especially men, because y'all get a bad rep, man. Y'all get a bad rep when it comes to fatherhood and being there. And we already know. We're not going to talk about that because this ain't that.
Don't do that. Let's not go down that road.
No, we're not about to do that. Right. So I want to talk a little bit about following your passion through adversity, because you live that's a given. Not everything is gonna be peachy keen or sunshine and rainbows. Adversity will come, and as you elevate, it comes more often. So speak
Yeah,
to the listeners about following their passion, even in the midst of adversity.
that that prayer breakfast that you was at with me, um, that was one of the places of the people I was able to turn to. Shout out to Healing Hearts.
Shout out
Um,
to Healing Hearts. Yes.
they I've been with that foundation for it's gone on 10 years.
Mm.
And how I got with them was because I lost my father almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
And I was hurting so bad that, you know, I felt like I just couldn't go on no more. Then when COVID hit, the same thing with my aunt, and my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
With those things going on, I was still DJing,
Mm-hmm.
but people did not know I was actually going through depression.
Right.
So with all those, with DJing and keeping a positive team around you, which I'm grateful that I do have a positive team, they keep me uplifted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to do. You have to keep people around you to uplift you, positive people to uplift you, doing positive things. Um, Basically acknowledging what's going on with you. Once you acknowledge that, that's a whole lot off your back. Because that
Yes.
means you know, okay, I'm depressed, but I know I need to do this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that I instilled in myself. And I encourage anybody, if you're going through something, you know, you have to acknowledge that this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there's going to be some down times, going to be some up times, but you have to keep on going. And that's what I do. Throughout the COVID, throughout, you know, people passing away in my family,
Mm-hmm.
without being around my daughter all the time, that's my drive. You know,
Right.
that keeps me going. So you just have to keep yourself motivated. Like I said earlier, you just have to
Mm-hmm.
self-motivate yourself.
Self-motivate yourself. And you have to realize that as long as you keep going, it will get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
And
stay stuck in it.
and you will feel better.
Yeah. And acknowledging, like you said, the first step to recovery and healing is acknowledging that there is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
having
I
those people to
learned,
pour into you.
right. And I learned that through Healing Hearts.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Miss Carolyn, she really showed me how to, you know, walk into what's going on with me instead of running and hiding and laying in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Get up and do something. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're still gonna be probably shedding tears throughout the day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're still doing what you're supposed to do. After a while, those tears gonna dry up.
Right.
And you're gonna be in that path that you're supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the things that I do. Even though, I mean, the other day I was actually on my way to do a party, leaving one.
Mm-hmm.
And in the car, a song just had me thinking about, you know, my dad and my aunt, and tears started rolling my eyes, and I end up at the next gig.
Mm-hmm.
Dried up, I still got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
You know,
You gotta learn how to get through the moment, take what you can from that, and keep it moving.
I notice a lot of people when they get depressed, they get lazy.
Oh, talk about it.
And that is bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is real bad. So, you know, I encourage people, you know, you're depressed, get up anyway. Get up anyway and still do what you have to do, because if you don't, that time gonna expire on what you were supposed to do.
Right. And then it is and then know that being depressed does not make you weak. It does
No.
not make you weak. It happens. It's a part of life, actually. But you staying stuck in that and knowing that you feel a certain way and not trying to get help or not trying to help yourself, that is the problem. And
Yeah.
we already know in our community, we don't like to talk about therapy or counseling or anything like
Right.
that. We sweep that on the rug. We don't want to hear
Yeah.
that. Like, go
Yeah.
somewhere and lay down. That's what we were told, right? Go somewhere and lay
Yeah.
down. You'll feel better after you go to sleep, and you know, come in here and get
Right.
something to eat that's gonna make you feel better.
Right.
At
Right.
some point, we have to realize that we can't keep putting band-aids over wounds expecting them to heal.
Preach.
Yeah, you have to, you know, get down into the nitty-gritty and get in the face of it so that you're able to work through it if it comes back up. And we
Yeah.
all know that adversity will come. Like it's a steady thing. Like for every good, there's an evil. And when you're at your best, guess what? Knock, knock.
Knock,
Here come
knock.
that
There he is.
enemy. Yeah, let me see. I
There he
remember when
is.
he was depressed. Let me see if I can subconsciously get him back to thinking about the things that he was thinking about when he was going through that.
And guess what? He probably do that to me.
Oh,
But
I know.
I still go. I still keep going.
Yep.
I still keep going because, like I say, those tears, they come throughout the day. You know, those words, they come throughout the day. But I still keep going. You know, there are days I just want to lay down and not tell nobody nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And not get on the computer, not get on my laptop, no nothing. But I still have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I encourage anybody, you got to face it. That's the only way.
Yep. You have to face it, and
Acknowledge
then you
it.
have to know your why. Like, why am I allowing life to defeat me so bad that I don't want to get up and fight?
Right. Yeah.
And you also have to realize that sometimes those tears help you grow, because that's a part of life. Like flowers and things, they need water to grow. So those tears, releasing those tears is cleansing, is helping you tap into that growth mindset and that growth mentality. And you just have to know that better things will come.
Yes, ma'am.
Better things will come. Okay, so this has been a great interview, great discussion. I don't want to call it an interview, great discussion. This is like two friends having a conversation.
Right.
Yes.
I'm glad you had me. You know, I heard a lot about you in this last week since, you know, when Tori introduced me or told me about you.
Yeah.
And I've been on your page. I've been checking you out. You've been doing your thing.
Okay, thank you. Look, I like people to go do their research, because, you know, I could tell you all day long the things that I've done, but until you can see that yourself and see that I have other people that's been on my platform and the things that they say, I mean, people say stuff all the time.
Yeah. And that's what I do. And like I said, that's something that I do all the time, because with these movies, so I get roles and scripts way before I, a month before I go on set.
Right.
So that's my way of doing the research. And then I have to go on YouTube, and they may have a little article about the movie coming out. I can see what type of movies, so I can get in that mindset when I get on set. So this has become a repetitious thing for me. So, when you hit me up, I was like, oh, let me check her out. And I was like, oh, you bigger than I thought you was. I had to call my friend like, oh, I'm nervous.
No, I tell people all the time. And it's funny that you say that, because everybody always say that they nervous, but guess what? I'm nervous too. You can't tell, but I get nervous before every interview, before every live I do, before every event that I do.
You know what's crazy? I still, after 30 years, some events that I DJ for, I still get like wet nervous.
Yes.
Like, I need a shot.
Yes.
And not even when I'm on set. Like a couple of movies ago, we was working on a Jamie Foxx movie, and when they told me that he was actually gonna be arm reach for me, oh man,
you was nervous.
I had to take 10. I had to go sit on the side, because the energy, it's the energy.
Yeah,
it's not even like, oh, he's a celebrity, I want to be next to him. It wasn't that. It was the energy. And when when we got through that day, I collected so much information from things that he was saying, how he was saying it. He'd tell us what to do, because he directed the movie too. Okay. So he has an assistant director that was normally with him, but this particular 2 scenes, he directed it.
Nice.
And, he was like, oh, I need y'all to do this, and I need you to take 10 steps and do this here. And that type of energy, how serious he is, I never saw him on the serious side. Right. He do have a clowning side. He did clown a lot. But when he clicked that light, it was all serious. And everybody around him was serious too. So, it's always a good experience doing that. Right.
And then you have to know that it's a time and a place for everything.
Everything, yeah.
And in order to learn, you have to be able to listen.
Yeah. I learned that too. 47 years old, and I'm still listening.
Oh yeah, I try to learn something new every day. Like that keeps your mind sharp. So yeah, you have to stay ahead of the game too. And working in the industry, I have to make sure that I listen to different podcasts so I can see what they doing, so I can step my game up.
Yeah.
I have to get in people's inboxes that I'm probably, afraid to say, if they're gonna say no. How am I know if I don't try?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I interviewed a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he was on this season of The Voice, and he made it to John Legend's team, and he wanted to come and kick it with KeKe. So,
Wow.
hey, shout out to Soul Song Music. He was awesome. Yes. So, I thank God for this gift. This gift found me. It really did, because I was a blogger behind the scenes and I write books. So I didn't need the spotlight. And COVID hit and things happen. And I'm like, quit putting off what you want to do, because tomorrow is not promised.
No, that's why I do what I do, because tomorrow ain't promised.
It's not.
So that energy of getting up every morning, now it's become addiction.
Yes.
It's addicting. I really get up, and the first thing I do is either open the laptop up, get my day started, get something to drink or whatever, but I'm on the laptop at some point.
Yeah. And some habits are good habits, and that's a good habit to have, because you have that work ethic.
Yeah.
And you self-motivated. Don't nobody have to say, hey, get that laptop. What you doing? You already got it. I got it.
I got it.
Got it. All right. So I like to ask all of my guests before we get off, and it's called On a Personal Note. So on a personal note, what would your now self tell your younger self about today? Like something that we talked about during our conversation today.
Honestly, I wouldn't even go back to my younger self. I would say myself a year ago. Because a year ago, I was a totally different person. I was a DJ, depressed, having thoughts of doing things to myself, not just downhill. And if I could tell myself a year ago, you need to get up, there's something in store for you.
Wow. I love that. You're the first person that said I would go back to my younger self a year ago.
Yeah.
I did have one guest say I would tell myself nothing, because he is not me and I'm not him.
Oh, that's nice too.
I know. And I was like, mind blown. I didn't think of it like that. But I asked the question because to hear the different perspectives from all of my guests, I write psychological thrillers, so I like to get in people's heads a lot. So it gives me a better understanding of different people from all walks of life by asking that question.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. Go back a year ago.
I was a totally different person a year ago. I didn't even want to take pictures.
Wow.
Now you go on my Instagram, of course you probably saw.
Oh yeah, you love the camera now.
I'm in love with it now, So just when I got here, I was like, let's make sure the light.
Yes. Good. How's my lighting?
Yeah, this light, it's good for my eyeglasses,
Yeah.
So yeah, a year ago I would tell myself, get up. You got some stuff you got to do.
I love it. I love it. So tell the people how they can connect with you. Where you hanging out at? I know you're on IG, but where can listeners connect with you at?
On a personal level, DJing, you can catch me at the Well in New Orleans, 1600 Basin Street. My Instagram, I have 2 Instagrams, 1 Facebook. My first Instagram is Idol on the Beat. At Instagram, that's my DJing, producing, all the music stuff, and snippets of me acting. But you can go to my Mr. Winfield page at Mr. Winfield, no period, Mr. Winfield _ That's all my acting and all my future clothing line stuff that's coming.
Okay.
And my Facebook is GoDJ Idol. And also you can find me on the GoDJ's website, GoDJSLA.com. I'm one of the top DJs on there. For booking, you can book me through any one of those sites. DM me or message me. My email address, mr.winfield23 @gmail.com. That's pretty much it.
Got it. And all of this stuff will be in the show notes, so you won't have an excuse not to go. And if you need a DJ, if you looking out for that clothing line, if you want to stay in the know with the acting and all of that stuff, you won't have an excuse because I have all the information there for you. So before we get off, is there any words of encouragement or, closing remarks that you would like to leave the listeners with today?
First of all, I like to send a shout out to, like I say, Healing Hearts Foundation, to my dog DJ Onk, because like I say, Onk was a big part of this transition from the music to acting. Shout out to my best friend sitting over there looking at me.
Shout out, best friend.
That's actually my hairdresser too. So when y'all see me whipped up.
Okay, nice.
And she's that's at Royal Vibes. I see the name every day and I still can't get it. At Royal Vibes at Instagram. 504. Royal Vibes 504.
504. Okay.
But to the listeners, y'all just stay motivated, man. And I know a lot of stuff going on in our life every day. If it's not crime, if it's not, just personal stuff, you have to keep going, keep moving. Go into it head first. I did the same thing. I'm still doing it. So y'all just stay motivated, stay positive, help somebody else. Helping somebody else can actually help you.
Right.
You may help somebody start a business and find out that you want to do a business similar to what they're doing or get into what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all just stay positive, stay motivated, and walk in your darkness.
Hey, walk in your darkness. I love that. Walk in your darkness.
And shout out to you, KeKe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, I am so excited to have you on here, man. I thank you so much again for coming to kick it with me. It has been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I'll be back.
Absolutely, you're welcome back. See, look, when you walk in that red carpet,
that's that next level.
Make sure you and don't forget about KeKe now.
Oh, I'm coming back. Hey, KeKe.
Absolutely. Look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan now. I'm a fan because I didn't know until I know. So now I know.
Thank you. I appreciate it, KeKe.
Yes,
I really do.
Absolutely. So you guys have been listening to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and all that other shit. I am here every Thursday with a new episode. So y'all make sure y'all go on over and subscribe, like, share, tell a friend, and tell a friend so we can all be friends. Until next time, thank you for listening in. Love and light, peace and blessings.
Bye, y'all.